Hello, everybody. It's Just in Case of American Newscape, joining our friend and media personality, Jerry Maldonado, back for another installment of Meatball Therapy. Hello, Jerry. Welcome back to American Newscape.
Hello, Mr. Feedback. How are you?
Mr. Feedback. Yeah, we were having feedback, but feedback happens.
Yeah, it's all that metal around my neck, man. I'm sorry, I become radioactive or something. I have no idea.
You're magnetic.
I'm magnetic. There you go. That's kind of like what we're going to talk about tonight. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah, tonight, Jerry wanted to talk about
Tonight,
responsibility. So, Jerry,
yes,
responsibility matters, and it does matter. So, what's happening with that?
I had an issue that you had the pleasure of hearing about last week, man. Uh, Tuesday night about 4 o'clock. Kurt, I can't come on the air. I've been robbed, man.
You were robbed.
And I said to myself, I spent, and I'll get into specifics. When you don't even know the specifics about it. But point being is, when things like that happen in my life, I don't really get angry about it. I want to find out why I attracted it, and it really came to pass. But long story short, last Tuesday I rewarded myself on my day off. I had a day off, and I went to the bank and took out a couple $3, which is kind of nothing nowadays, sadly. But point being is, when I got home from running all my errands, I looked in my account to log it like a good little simpleton that I am. And lo and behold, everything is gone. Literally, every penny of the savings is gone. And I got the nice olive skin, so I turned kind of white for a minute there. I had to think about it for a second there. First thing I did was give you a buzz and say, I cannot come on tonight because I'm kind of busy being broke right now and I got to fix that stuff. What had happened was a Bitcoin company based in Europe literally went into got my routing numbers, took all the money out. They did what they wanted. But long story short, everything was returned, but it took several days to get through that. Thank you for checking up on me there, Mr. Feedback, on that. And I appreciate the help. But lo and behold, the question that I had, and here I am thinking, like I always do, how did this happen? And most importantly, how could I stop making things like this happen in my life? You and I talk about it, how magnetic we are and this field we have around us and what we're sending out every day. This might be hard for people to comprehend. But if you take responsibility for what you're feeling every day, what you're thinking about every day, and what you're sending out every day, you're going to realize what you're bringing in life. A synopsis of what had happened to me was the fact I spent the last several weeks in turmoil, not on the outside, but kind of a mental turmoil thing with work, how busy I am and how I don't have time. And I kept reiterating that constantly. God, I don't have time. Work is so busy. How am I going to get my shows done? And on and on and on. This mental civil war or inner civil war, per se. How many of you are going through that with your lives, that you're overthinking situations before they become situations, but then you create the situation and say, what did I just do? That's basically what happened to me. By me overthinking, not having enough time, I was sending out the energy of not having enough time and creating more circumstances like the bank per se, which in turn I didn't have time. But I had to make time because now I had to sit in the bank for several days, go back and forth of the time that I did not have to take care of this problem. And if that resonates within you guys, you'll start to analyze those thoughts that you have every day and how you're feeling every day. It might be kind of hard to believe for some because they're so dealt with the tangible world, but the tangible world starts within us. So if certain things are happening in your life and they're constantly evolving the way you don't want them, what are you sending out every day as a result to create them?
Well, that makes perfect sense because people that do things and accomplish things have a shortage of time. And we can't dwell on that shortage of time because we need to keep accomplishing and keep doing.
That's exactly what I was doing. Go ahead. Great point.
Well, and, in our in these mini crises that might hit us, and taking that time to fix that problem. That was a mini crisis, and you did it. You rolled up your sleeves and you did it. You got after it. You prioritized things and got after it. But we're all guilty of that from time to time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they're completely avoidable, is my
Yes.
point. All this stuff is completely avoidable, but we are surrounded by distractions. And this is the hardest part of transformation is not getting distracted from the main cause, which is going to be eventually your effect. And it's a deep area that people don't want to dig into because they think that life is the problem. And you and I have spoken many times about this on my show, on your show, that the problem is right in the mirror, right in front of you. It's great because I immediately took responsibility for that and said, wait, slow down, meatball. You're going to be all right. You're going to get in essence, every time I've overdone that, overthought that, and overdid that, it all got done anyway. And in essence, on the time it was supposed to get done, but all I was doing was just sending out those fear vibes. I don't have enough time, and I'm gonna get in trouble, and all these things like everybody else. I'm in transformation every day, like everybody else, and I love showing those little flaws and things that pop up because it'll resonate with people to relate because we're all the same. We all have the same issues and we all go through the same things in life. And shows like this that share content like this hopefully resonates with people to step back and say, wait, I can solve this problem just by the direction of my thoughts and feelings.
Well, exactly. And, anybody that's having a crisis, they are most probably not the pioneer of that crisis. That crisis has happened millions and millions of times to other people.
Well,
So,
it's great to learn from other people. Indeed, when I was going through my Motel 6 stint for a decade, I kept asking myself every day, why am I here? I eventually got the answer. I was shaving one day. I said, oh, that's you, Meatball. That's why you're here. It's your thought process. It's these kind of epiphanies that we have. They take some time, maybe 1,000 days sitting in this place to figure it out. But once I did, maybe I'm a slow learner. I realized that, and everything just started manifesting in the most amazing, beautiful ways. It's a magic trick, the flick of the wrist that they say, as a magician does. This is a flip of the paradigm shift of thinking. What's with the hand Italian thing going on there? You
you know,
start flipping your switch of thinking, you're going to start realize what you're bringing.
well, you and I both, I believe everything is self-imposed. The good, the bad, the ugly, it's all
Oh, yes,
self-imposed.
that's what I'm talking about, Meatball. There we go. Indeed, you're right. It's like stabbing ourselves in the foot or where you want to stab yourself. Indeed, we are our own worst enemy, but
Well,
we are also a blessing in our own best miracle if we want to be.
and that's where responsibility is, recognizing that it's self-imposed. Even if it's the
Everything.
the bank's fault. If you chose Acme Banking, then you maybe should have done some research on the caliber and integrity of that bank. So that's how it's self-imposed back on you.
Well, when I was talking to the people, the security people at the bank and everything else about what had happened, people who can do this are brilliant.
Yeah.
It's too bad they couldn't create stuff that would actually help people. And this is why we don't really make money at the bank anymore because they're too busy fighting off these kind of meatballs that keep taking money from people. And she says we get inundated every day with attacks from other countries, literally. And you and we probably I have in my account, but any kind of transaction that I don't make or is out of pattern with what I normally do, I'll get a notification. These guys got my actually routing number, bypassed the system, and just took it all. And to me, that to get past all those layers of security is brilliant. Why don't you develop something that will help people instead of hurt people? And these are the questions I ask myself. But after that happened, I do a quick check like a private investigator on why things happen in my life, and I go backwards. And if you start going backwards on why things are happening, you're going to start coming up with amazing results because you're going to realize it all starts indeed self imposed, looking in the mirror, understanding what you're sending out every day. It's like people say you're going to catch a cold. No, meatball, you attract the cold by how you think and feel, which is killing your immune system. And scientifically, they've proven that now. But everyday medicines are forced upon us on every commercial on the friggin' TV about what you could take to feel better. But it all relies on you taking responsibility for who you are.
Well, and understanding who you are. Absolutely. Absolutely. So your bank was, to put some minds at ease, your bank treated you well once you went back to deal with the problem.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, this is funny. Remember press one for English, two for Spanish.
Yes.
I mean, that's so. You start the phone conversation. They should have 15 different languages now because I got transferred to at least 3 or 4 different countries in the process. I was going to start asking them how the food is over there because I couldn't understand them, and it was getting kind of frustrating. But indeed, once I actually went to my bank in person the following day and did it formally with the paperwork, but like I said, it just created not having enough time or not having more time. And I said to myself, damn, Jerry, you did it again. You figured out what was wrong, and now you can figure out how to make it right. And the bank was very gracious. They were courteous. I had to change all these accounts, all the numbers, all the passwords. I mean, those guys should invent a book on how to save passwords digitally. This way here, I mean, we're always got to change them because we're always being attacked from different ends. But it all turned out well, like I knew it would. I just wish I realized that I was projecting out all these feelings of not having enough because the universe just gave me more of not having enough, in essence, time.
Exactly. And time is, as we all know, time is precious. So, well, congratulations. Sorry you went through that. Congratulations for putting it right.
Well, yeah, it was inevitable. I mean, it ain't like the old days where you get robbed $50 and never see it again. I mean, if the bank system was bypassed, obviously it's their fault. But I wasn't worried. Honestly, I wasn't worried about it not coming back because you're honest. Things always work out. I wasn't really, it was the shock indeed of saying, "Wow, I just had. Wait, am I seeing things here, or is this like you got to rub the eyes and say, what the hell just happened here?" But after the initial shock and going through the process, I spent the next couple of days really. I wanted to overthink this, and I wanted to analyze what had just happened, and most importantly, because I was the cause, what was the effect, and how can I create a better effect? So if you don't have enough time in your life and you're always rushing around, you're always in turmoil, you're only going to recreate more of that. That not having enough time can turn into a flat tire, a car accident, an issue at work, staying at work later. If all of this kind of resonate within you, it's all going to start making sense in your life to really step back, like I do in practice every day, from that overthinking that's creating the potential reality that you don't want to be involved in.
Well, there you go. You're okay. So, what were your journal entries during this episode of your life?
What was my what? I'm sorry.
Your journal entries. What were your journal entries through this episode?
My journal entries every day are more of just affirmations and repetitious on how I want things to be. Once you leave the table, as I say from my journaling, and you get into the environment that is kind of chaotic, that sometimes you can't control work per se or whatever's going on because around you everybody else is the same way. It's kind of chaotic. So my journaling has always been the same repetitious of creations that I want to bring in life and how grateful I am. But when you step out of that realm, like I step out of the little studio here that I have, the real world sometimes indeed and has set me back. This is where the practice of daily, they call it obedience in scripture. It's being obedient to your core values. And sometimes life doesn't allow you to do that. And situations like this are there to reinforce you and remind you that you have to do that, or else these things are going to happen.
Well, that makes sense. So your journal actually helps keep you on an evener plane, so to speak.
Oh, yeah, journaling is the plane ticket. I'm just waiting for the ride. It's stuff that I work on every day. Maybe I'll embellish it with a few more words, but to me, it's my therapy every day. It's my belief in myself. And it's like you like using the mirror as a visual. I use my paper as a visual. We just do it different ways, but it's with the same intention. And most importantly, taking responsibility for what we create in life and figure out why it happened. And you're going to find the cause of it, which starts with you, and the effect from it, which is the reality you create.
Well, yes, exactly. So we both commit energy to keep ourselves going in that right direction, and we do it differently, but it has the same cause and effect for us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us, different. We have our own fingerprints, the way we do things. I tell my daughter all the time, yeah, so what? You want to relax today? Who cares? It's what you want to do. Life has tried to tell us and conform us to do things a certain way. I'm like, oh, no way. The minute the minute I stopped doing that, I became a lot more happier. And how I create things is my own way, and how others create things is their own way. We all got to respect it, and we all got to be responsible for our thoughts and what we create every single day, because that's basically our self-fulfilling prophecy. The mediums and the psychics will go out of business real quick. No disrespect to you guys
Oh,
out there. We're all trying to make a living, man. But at the same time, we are our own self-fulfilling prophecy if we realize that and look in the mirror every day and realize that we are special and we can create anything we desire.
well, absolutely. And if you don't want to lose at the shell game on the street with the street vendor, don't play the shell game.
Yeah, don't take the risk. If it doesn't feel right, it ain't gonna be right. And the shell game should have like a big red flag behind it. Don't do that. But people like me, I find out the hard way. I've watched people lose jewelry and everything else of that freaking game. But God, hey, like I said, they got to make money. You don't have to be a part of their profit. You start listening to your heart and a lot of things. But that's the one thing I didn't get. That's a great point. That was triggered. I didn't feel that my overthinking was wrong about not having enough time. And now that it was slammed in my face, sometimes things have to get slammed in your face to realize that you're doing something too much in excess that is detrimental to you, that is self-imposed by you. It's all gonna work out in the end, and you start realizing that sometimes you got to hit the wall. It hurts, man, but it's more of just an inconvenience for me.
Well, people need to understand that you and I both hit those walls from time to time. But
Yes,
you-
God, my goodness, go ahead. We've hit repetitiously.
well, but we have experience in that, and we have experience from coming back from that.
Just for responsibility that we did it. Okay, get up, dust yourself off. Indeed, they say in scripture, pick up your tent and move on. It's the same thing, just thousands of years old in different languages. It's the same narrative. It just, we create things in life, but we can't blame others for it. We can't blame life for it. And it's a great way to say, wow, I have the power to change it just by how I think and feel and pursue my dreams every day. But people are afraid to do that. They think it happens once or twice, and that's fate. Fated to me is just a word. It shouldn't even be used. We create our fate. We create our destiny by how we think, act, and feel every day. You start thinking from a metaphysical realm, in essence, beyond the physical, because that metaphysical realm is what creates the physical. That there alone should inspire you, saying, wow, I can change my life, but just by changing how I see life, how I see things, most importantly, how I perceive things.
No, you're exactly right, Jerry. Hey, I think this is a good place to put this one in the can. Why don't you give us a final thought and we'll get out of here?
Final thought is what you say you bring. How you see yourself is what you bring to yourself. If things are happening, that's okay, but figure out why they're happening and you'll find a way. Did I just rhyme? I
Yeah.
sound like a rapper, man. I'm getting over here, but yeah, indeed, go for
No, you sound like Dr. Seuss. Maybe that's just
it.
too heavy,
That's a good point, Meatball. I love that.
too heavy of a
Jerry
doctor.
Sue.
Jerry Sue.
Jerry Sue. Jerry. There you go. A new
Baker's
punchline for America's Mentor, man.
Baker Seuss. Baker Seuss. All right, everybody. This has been
Brown eggs, and ham, the Puerto Rican way. That's what I'm
yeah.
digging.
Hey, this has been Justin Case and Jerry Seuss, bringing you Meatball Therapy. Thanks for joining us. Remember, additional information and links are provided in this video's read more. Today's the day to subscribe to this channel. Please learn more about Jerry Maldonado when time permits.